morning, everybody. Is it morning? No, it's afternoon. Let's try that again. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Beena, and this charming little fellow here is Walter. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. It's an October Saturday morning. It's not morning, Beena. It's an October Saturday lunchtime. It's a bit nippy. Autumn has definitely set in. It was very nice and sunny earlier, but it's oh, well done, mate, you can wheelie. It's yeah, it's got a little bit overcast, but as always, it's probably the best day for biking this week, because we seem to be having a little period where you get like 1 or 2 days to ride your bike here in Bedfordshire, because otherwise it's pissing it down with rain. So we are taking advantage of it, and much needed it is today. I've got a bit of a low mood today. I've slept very badly for the last couple of days, and yeah, I'm not feeling too chipper. So what always helps is coming out on lovely Walter here. He always cheers me up, so that's what we're doing. So we're not going to bring the channel down and everybody watching down. Instead, we're going to go off on a little adventure and explore Bedfordshire. Hopefully get some drone footage. I have fully prepared myself today with my thermals on. Oh no, we're men, we can't say thermals anymore, can we? Because that makes us sound like the old men that we are. I've got my base layer on to keep me warm. Because yeah, it is pretty chilly. I think it's about 14. We have Roger, if you remember, people. Roger is above us. For those who don't watch the channel regularly, that's a kite. Oh wow, he's right above me. Magnificent fella, wow. I mean, you probably couldn't see that. We absolutely wouldn't have been able to see that because of the camera angle, but he was probably about 10 metres above me, just soaring along, going the same direction, looking for things to eat. You want to go a little bit further back that way, mate, because there was a carcass of some poor animal in the road, which I couldn't identify because it was mainly rib cage. That's a strange little house there, isn't it, with a little telephone box next to it. I wonder what that used to be. I wonder if it's one of those things that used to be a toilet or something. Very bizarre little house. Sorry, I got sidetracked there twice, didn't I, by Roger and a potential toilet house. Is that the proverbial shithouse that you're in? Or built like? It's doghouse, isn't it, that you're in, not a shithouse. You're built like a brick shithouse. Anyway, Beena, you're rambling. What was I saying? Base layers, yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? But yeah, it is pretty chilly. So I had to wrap up appropriately. I've not worn my new winter waterproof trousers with a built-in thermal lining today because well, it's not quite that cold, but they are very good. I'm very pleased with those. But yeah, we have no destination in mind today. We're just going to go on a little potter. I've set this to. I'll beeline to. Oh, yeah, we're here. Okay, yeah. It's always a surprise to me. I've set my beeline to navigate home, which is what I often do when I'm out on these little jaunts, because I know the roads reasonably well. But just in case I do get lost, which is not uncommon for me, is it really? Yeah, I set it to home so that it's always telling me how to get back. But yeah, we don't have anywhere in mind. We're just going to have a little pootle and a little natter. I will finally get round to picking a topic that someone in the comments has suggested when a few videos back, and I said if anyone has any ideas for topics for me to ramble about whilst I'm on these, because I usually struggle to come up with anything and just waffle on about any old nonsense, which apparently some of you seem to like. But a couple of people did actually give some topics, so I will attempt to ramble about one of those now. So I can't remember who it was, apologies. I will look back through the comments and put the name here. Suggested having a ramble about retro bikes and whether they make good commuting bikes. I'm guessing that by that you mean modern retro or modern classic bikes, however the manufacturers want to term those, and not actual retro bikes, i.e. vintage bikes, because I have no experience of those. I do keep trying to win one in the classic motorcycle competition website, but yeah, I have no experience of riding an actual classic motorcycle. I'm guessing it would be really difficult initially trying to get used to the whole gearbox on the other side. So yeah, I'm guessing we're going with modern classics, what they're like for commuting, whether they're suitable. And it's a really quick answer, to be honest, which I will endeavour to make long by inimitable style. I've only ever really owned modern classics, aside from a street triple that I had. The majority of my bikes have been retro style bikes, and prior to when I used to ride, before I had a long hiatus and came back recently to it, I used to use my bikes for commuting. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to work from home the vast majority of the time at the moment, so I don't need to commute, and I don't think commuting from my bedroom to my living room computer on a bike would be particularly appropriate. But prior to that, yeah, I used to commute all the time, because it was so much more convenient, really. As you know, if you live in a large town in the UK, it can be a bit of a pain in the arse commuting, because our roads are very small and they're absolutely chock full of cars and vans and lorries. So commuting on a motorcycle is actually a lot less stressful and a lot more fun, I found. Nipping in and out of little gaps, overtaking long queues at traffic lights and roundabouts, filtering through. My commute, I worked in 2 different places, and my commute took me on the M1 motorway, which, if you're not from the UK, is our main roads, big sort of highway. And yeah, I used to have to do about 25 miles north on that from the Luton area, back and forth, and then on some main roads, and then through a town centre. And then in my other role, I had to go south on the M1 for quite as much then, I think it's about 9-10 miles southbound. And you'd think that wouldn't take very long, really, because 70 miles an hour speed limit. It's the main arterial road through the UK, but it was invariably an absolute shit show in rush hour. So there was always accidents. There was always some kind of snarl up. For the best part of 10 years, there were roadworks, so the speed limit was 50 and 60 miles an hour along various stretches. But the accidents and breakdowns was the biggest issue, and a commute that should take around about half an hour on both occasions sorry, to both jobs, would sometimes take 2 hours if you're in a car. It was horrendous. So on a motorbike, it was so much better. I mean, you could filter through all that traffic. If there was a massive traffic jam, you could just filter through to the front and just add a few minutes onto your journey rather than an hour. So yeah, I was really pleased to be able to commute. I really enjoyed it actually, and I didn't mind the weather. I always dressed appropriately in the winter. I wasn't a fair weather rider. I'd go out in first thing in the morning, it'd be a bit sub-zero temperatures. I'd know that I was on clear main roads, so I didn't really have to worry about ice too much. But yeah, I used to really enjoy myself in that. And yeah, all the time I was on a modern classic motorcycle. So initially it was a Kawasaki Zephyr 550, which isn't particularly retro, it's kind of a little bit. But then on a just negotiating that. Then on a Triumph Bonneville Scrambler for a few years, and then after that, what did I do after that? So then it was a Street Triple after that. Now I bought the Street Triple. I wasn't doing that motorway route, and my last job where I went southbound on the M1, after the motorway there were some nice country roads I've got to go through until I got to the town centre, my final destination. I didn't have a Street Triple then. I had my Street Triple when all of my commute was through town centres and housing estates, and it kind of worked really well. I was going to say it worked better than on a modern classic, but I don't think it did necessarily. It just made it quicker because it was so light and nimble and fast that it was a devastating commuter tool. It really was. But yeah, I think I've mentioned before in one of my videos I used to use the lap timer to time how long it took me to get to work, and it was increasingly shorter and shorter times and more dangerous, I think. Which is why I sold it in the end to get another classic, which was the Motor Guzzi V7 Classic. So that was my final commuting bike. Oh no, sorry, that was the one that I then went commuting southbound on the M1, the Guzzi Classic. So that was a very long-winded way of saying that I've had most of my commuting time, city riding time, motorway riding time, has been on modern classics, and they were absolutely fine, not a problem at all. I mean, they're probably better than sports bikes, aren't they? Let's face it, because generally have a much more upright riding position, which is a lot more comfortable. Slightly wider bars so that you got good leverage to get in and out of things nimbly. And I guess if they're too wide, then that does hinder you trying to squeeze through traffic, but I never had them with massively wide bars. The Scrambler was reasonably wide, but they were perfect. Yeah, I really enjoyed them, and you know, if you look at it from wanting to be a bit of a peacock, then you got lots of looks from people on your commute, so it was nice from that point of view. You got noticed, that's for sure. But there was never any time when I thought, oh, this isn't great, I wish I had something different to commute on. In fact, I think I was happier that I had a pretty bike which was comfortable, sounded good and handled nicely, because otherwise, you know, commuting can be a bit soul destroying, can't it? And I guess maybe the only downside was with the Bonneville, with the Scrambler, because it was quite top heavy. It had the two high side mounted stainless steel pipes, and it was a really heavy bike. It was way over 200 kilograms. I think it was like 220 kilograms or something, but it wore it quite high up. So that was probably the only downside I could think of. But otherwise, I absolutely love them, and I would recommend them to people. Now, if we're talking the Royal Enfield range, if we're talking the Classic 350, the Bullet 350, the Hunter, again, for city commuting and country lane commuting, absolutely no problem at all. I think if you had a decent motorway commute, it would do it. I mean, it'd sit at 60, but would you really want to be sitting at 60 on the motorway? Once you haven't said that in rush hour traffic, it's probably all you can do. But if you had any significant A road or motorway distance to do, I think maybe it wouldn't be as good with the low power, unless you're happy sitting at 50-60 miles an hour. But knowing how aggressive the traffic can be on the M1 at times, I think I'd probably want something with a little bit more oomph to get me out of any kind of sticky situations. So maybe from that point of view, I wouldn't recommend something like this for it. But for everything else, yeah, I mean, I'd happily commute on this. I mean, having said that, if I was commuting back down to, it was St Albans that I used to have to commute to, which is a beautiful little city. If you've never been there, I recommend it. I think it holds the dubious claim of being the most expensive place outside of London to live, certainly to buy a house. But yeah, if I had to go down there, I think that just that 9-10 miles of motorway, like I say, it would probably be 60 miles an hour anyway, because the variable speed limits we have on the motorways now. I'd probably be okay with that, because the second half of it was around some twisty country roads and through the city centre itself, so I'd be happy. So yeah, there you go. What do you think? What are your thoughts on commuting? I know that friends over in the States, wow, that's a really big church up there. Sorry, I got distracted. I know our friends over in the States have very different experience when it comes to commuting and riding to different places with their massive open straight roads. So let me know what you think. If you're from the UK, do you regularly commute on yours? I know I see some of the YouTubers with Royal Enfields certainly do. I think the all-year motorcyclist, he certainly does. Where should we go? This way, why not? But I hope that answered your question, person whose name I've forgotten, but which I did put on the screen, hopefully. I think really, like I said when I did a little review on this, it's all about perspective with these bikes. If you're happy with the performance, if you go in with your eyes open in terms of what to expect performance-wise, then you're never going to be disappointed, are you? If you go in with unrealistic expectations, then you're definitely going to be disappointed. I don't really know where I am. I know I've been down here before. Who cares? So yeah, that's topic 1 done. Actually, did I not come down here once and then someone in the comments said that I actually stopped outside their house at some temporary traffic lights? Was that here? Ooh, horses, let's pull over for them. Now I certainly hit rush hour on this road. Horses and then a succession of cars coming down. I don't think this was the road that I came up where someone said that you stopped outside my house. Where the hell am I? Should we go this way? Why not? Okay. What's going on here? There's a lot of crows in that field. This is my quiet time. This is where I can just shut up and you can enjoy the ride rather than listen to me wobbling on about nothing. That was a couple of muntjac deer there, I think. In the road. Cool old Mini. It's used to have a Mini many years ago when I was 20, 21. With a pea green Mini or 1275. Are they 1275s? 975? Can't remember. It's a lovely little car that was. One day I will tell you about my absolutely tragic cars that I've owned over the past God knows how many years, 30 odd years, 35 years. I've owned some real stinkers, and that Mini wasn't one of them. It's like a boring main road, everyone. Oh, it is a boring main road. road with a very tight angle there, having to look right, and I did my neck in a week or so ago. There's two kites there having a, I don't know if they're doing a mating thing or a fighting thing, flying at each other. Yeah, I did my neck in a couple of weeks ago, just sleeping. You know what it's like when you're old and you just go to sleep and wake up and you're like, okay, well that hurts now. That happened. Yeah, it's painful to turn right. The joys of getting old, eh? Right, well, seeing as that we've come this way and we're getting into traffic, I may as well call this one a day. And we've got a Ducati. Look at Diavel. Yeah, I'll call it a day. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. It has actually improved my mood no end, as it always does coming out on Walter. So if you're ever feeling a little bit down, get on your bike and get out, because it's a wonderful, I was going to say aphrodisiac then, that is not what I meant. It's a wonderful pick-me-up. I think I should go. But yeah, as always, stay safe out there, keep your shiny side up, have a wonderful week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye! There it is, I finally found one! I'm gonna go and have a look, I don't care if it's a dead end. Well, it's not a dead end, is it? Hey. Finally. Well, I was just on my way home and I finally found a water tower. I'm always saying that I see them and I never know where they are. I just so happened to stumble across this one. There we go.